One, two, three. The best way is to count the closest the better. But
Okay.
which one is
Okay.
is your hand?
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes, better. Yeah. Okay. How many? Okay, I'll move it. Okay. Good morning. Wow. Um, before we came on the air, they were playing this most beautiful music, just getting us in the mood to be relaxed. It was my kind of music. I don't know the name of the song, but it was beautiful. So it got me, hey, in the mood. So it's a cold day, and I'm thinking it's a lot of people that's going to be on the line this morning instead of being in person. And my sister, Dr. Cheryl, is here, and so this morning, if you have comments, put them in the comment box, and Sister Cheryl will let me know. Well, we're going to start a new chapter today in an unhurried life following Jesus' rhythm of work and rest. We're going to chapter 5 today, and the title of this one is Unhurried Enough to Care. Unhurried enough to care. And I'm going to use, the scripture that I'm going to use today is 1 Corinthians 13. 1 Corinthians 13. So that's, I know that's it sounds like a lot. The whole 13th chapter, yeah, it's not much. It is only 23 verses, and they're short. And so I'm going to start. Got to take my glasses off. People are always surprised I take my glasses off to read, because I'm a lazy bifold reader, so I don't want to tilt my head. It's easier. Okay, so 1 Corinthians 13, chapter 13, and I'm going to read all of it. It's 20. Excuse me, I said 20. It's 13 chapters. If I could speak in any language in heaven or on earth, but didn't love others, I would only be making meaningless noises like a loud gong or a clanking cymbal. If I had the gift of prophecy, and if I knew all the mysteries of the future and knew everything about everything, but didn't love others, what good would it be? And if I had the gift of faith so that I could speak to a mountain and make it move without love, I would be no good to anyone. If I gave everything I have to the poor and even sacrificed my body, I could boast about it. But If I didn't love others, I would be of no value whatsoever. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. Love does not demand its own way. Love is not irritable, and it keeps no record of when it has been wronged. It is never glad about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. Love will last forever, but prophecy and speaking in unknown languages and special knowledge will all disappear. Now we know only a little, and even the gift of prophecy reveals little. But when the end comes, these special gifts will all disappear. It's like this: when I was a child, I spoke and thought and reasoned as a child does. But when I grew up, I put away childish things. Now we see things imperfectly as in a poor mirror, but then we will see everything with perfect clarity. All that I know now is particles and incompletes. But then I will know everything completely, just as God knows me now. I love that, just as God knows me now. Then there are three things that will endure: faith, hope, and love, and the greatest of these is love. This is the word of God for the people of God. And I read the 13th chapter, the whole entire 13th chapter of 1 Corinthians. Okay, so let's dig into, I got a commentary, I wrote a commentary, or I studied a commentary. And so I want to pick this verse and chapter kind of apart. First of all, it was written by Paul. And Paul is insisting that love is critical to understanding and applications of spiritual gifts. So we've talked about the spiritual gifts. And so what he's saying, if you don't have love, it doesn't matter what your gift is. It doesn't matter. The gift is of no value to you. And I like the thing that I always remember is sounding like a noisy gong or clanking cymbal. If you've ever been in a band or you've gone to a concert or symphony, and that big, they go, hey, this gigantic gong, and they take that big padded stick and hit it. They hit it right on time, so it's part of the music. But if they start banging that thing just anywhere, it's no longer music, it's noise. So it's got its place and it's got its timing in that. Same way with the cymbal. If I can remember, I was in a marching band when I was in grammar school, and there was one person that played the cymbal, and they didn't play it often. The cymbal just got a little ding, ding, and that was it. And when they played the cymbal, because it was in the percussion section, I was in the percussion section. I played snare drum, and so when they played the cymbal, after they struck it, they had to hold it, because it was like, otherwise it would keep reverberating, going on. So they had to stop it, because it wasn't part of the music anymore. It just had the one little thing, but it was important. And so that's what love is. We can be in this band, I'm gonna call it this band of life. And we have all of these wonderful gifts and all of these talents and all of this stuff material stuff that we have. But if we don't have love, it absolutely, positively means absolutely nothing. So that's the first part of the first chapter. It says, so the gifts mean absolutely nothing, and you can find that in verses 2 and 3. The gift does not matter when love is missing. And then over in 4, from 4 to 7, Paul explains what love does and what it does not do. Biblical love is the decision, not merely a feeling. So biblical love is not a feeling. Oh, I feel like I love this person. That's not biblical love. So he's telling us that it's based on God's standards. It's seeking the well-being of others. You're putting yourself above others. A lot of times we talk about mother's love. When I was working for Tougaloo Delta Health in Greenville, Mississippi, I learned something, and here I am. I'm well advanced into ages. Oh my goodness, the twins are coming. I'm so excited because they're going to add to our discussion. Yes. Welcome. How are you all doing this morning? Good. Okay. I'm glad to see you. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. So I assumed, and you know what happens when you assume, that everyone's mother is loving. And I found out that every woman that gives birth to a child is not loving. They might love one child over another, or they might not love any of their children. But I found that out, and it was hard for me to see because I had a loving mother that I felt that she would do anything that she could in her power to keep me safe and protected. And I found out that everybody doesn't have this loving mother. So it was kind of hard for me to see that, to sit and counsel people, young women that were expecting, and they had a horrible upbringing, and might be where they are still living in the house because they're teenagers and they're living in the house with this person, and they're very stressed out that they are going to bring their baby that they are loving, that haven't even got here yet, and how will the grandmother treat them? So everybody did. So in verses 4 through 7, Paul is telling us that love, this is a biblical love, that love is patient, it's kind, it's not envious, it's not arrogant, it's not irritable. These things are only possible when we put others before ourselves. And he says that in 3 through 5. Love does not affect everyone it does not it doesn't offend someone. It doesn't help with in a sinful way. That's not love. And then we go on to 8 through 10. One day when we expect the joyous intimacy of God's presence, spiritual gifts will come to an end. And so he's talking about our physical death. But what Paul is saying, the one thing that will last into eternity is love. We will always have love. Love never ends. When the time comes, and he calls it be perfect in 10. Be perfect. Paul is referring to spiritual maturity. That's when we're perfect. Our theme for this coming, our new theme in the prayer line is completed. And so we're not complete until we transition. That's our complete. And we're trying to get to completion. We're doing our very best. Many of us have learned over time that, I'm not doing my very best. And so many of us are trying to live a more perfect life. We never will be perfect, because only God is perfect. I don't know, Sister Doris is here and she knows this, but other people might not know this. When Amish women make a quilt, they always put a mistake in it. because they say only God is perfect, and so they intentionally put a mistake. What is really fun, if you go to an Amish quilt show, you are looking for the mistake. It's like, where's Waldo? Where is the mistake? And they intentionally put it in there. And so they're saying, because I'm not making anything perfect, because only God is perfect. So that's their way of acknowledging God. And then in 11 through 12, he says, a child speaks, thinks, and reasons like a child, but a man, woman, I'll add, has grown in maturity and puts aside childish things. And we're not talking about chronological age. We're talking about your spiritual, because some of us are still immature in our spiritual growth. Our Christian goal is a spiritual maturity. And then 13, these three remain, faith, hope, and love, but the greatest of them is love. In eternity, you will no longer need faith because you've already got it. You got sight. You see it. You will no longer need hope because you have experienced and your anticipations will already be taken care of. So the only love will remain. And the love is because now we are in this perfect relationship with God. And then it refers to 1 John 4:18, God is love. So that's the scripture that we had this morning. Now I want to ask you to do this. You can keep your eyes open, close your eyes, and imagine the face of God. Just imagine what God, your God, looks like. Now I know we only got one God, but what is really interesting, we all see God differently. We got folks that see blue-eyed and blonde, and we see Jesus with dark hair and nappy woolly hair. We see God as a mother. So what's the face of the God look like to you? And then I'm gonna ask you to describe that. So I'm gonna give you a minute, and then we're gonna talk about it. In your mind's eye, what does God look like? Okay. Gotta move. We got this stand, and I can't see everybody over here because I'm trying to put this over here so I can keep the mic up close to me. Okay, who wants to go first? Oh, yes, we need a mic. Okay, wait 1 second. She's gonna get the mic. Wait, we're gonna get a mic. I'm gonna give you a mic. She's getting it back here at the back. Got to turn it on. Okay. Yep. Our little sister.
I think that God has like long brown or black hair, and he has like fire in his eyes, because that's what I saw on YouTube, I think.
Okay. Anybody else?
Well, I pondered, but I could not put a face on him.
Okay, all right.
I don't necessarily see a face, but I do think of him as the Father.
Okay.
And I think there's a clarification in the question for me.
Okay.
So there is no image that I can conjure up of God.
Mm-hmm.
I know that he told Moses, you can't look at me, and so there's no image.
Mm-hmm.
But Jesus walked among people, so that description is one that we find in the Bible.
Thank you. That's I like that. You're right.
I think no matter how God looks, he still looks perfect.
That no matter how he looks, he still looks brilliant. Is that what you said?
I think that no matter how God looks, he's still perfect.
He's still perfect. You are absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
And I'm just going along with what Sister Cheryl said. You know what Jesus said, when you've seen me, you've seen the Father. So
And he made each of us in his image, right? So he's got what? He's got many images, many images. What's interesting to me, I've traveled a lot, and all over Europe, the statues are always brown or black. Only in the United States are statues white. Yeah, and blonde hair. But if you go to, I love going to cathedrals and churches and just sitting and they have a name for it. It's like Lectio Divina, but it's got another name, meaning. So I just love if just driving and I see a beautiful old church, I want to go in and just sit. I did that one day at Mobile. So Mobile used to be the capital. No, it was, so before Mississippi and Alabama and Louisiana, that was all one area. That was all one area. And so when the Catholics came and settled all that land, they set their cathedral up in Mobile. And so the Mobile's this gigantic, beautiful cathedral. So I had read about it. I went there and I was sitting, and they had, I'm just sitting, and then all of a sudden this gigantic pipe organ starts playing. The guy comes into practice, and I, got this like free concert. I was teaching once in Louisiana, and it was Christmas. It was close to Christmas, and went to St. Louis Square, and there's a Catholic church there, and they had a concert. And man, it was just, and again, it was a beautiful concert. So I just remember, but I'm always walking in and looking at, especially Catholic churches, to see all of the statues, the Stations of the Cross, and and just looking at the stained glass windows and stuff. Huh?
Jackson is the capital of Mississippi.
Correct.
Louisiana is Baton Rouge.
Correct.
And what's the other one?
Alabama.
Alabama.
Birmingham.
In Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So it's really interesting because Mississippi and Alabama were one. And when they split it, and it was Mississippi came into the statehood and then followed by Alabama. And when you look at them, they're reversed. The shapes of look at them. It's just really interesting to see the outline. Yeah. But anyway, I was a few weeks when I went to pick up Pastor Griffin, we came up 87th Street off of the toll road. And the church up here is closed. It's for sale. I said, wow, the church is for sale. This big Catholic church is for sale. And Corpus Christi, gigantic church, is for sale. It got great big, it's hard. It is hard for me to think, wow, these big cathedrals are for sale. Who's going? Oh, and then the one on 57th Street, right off of the Dan Ryan. I was going to meet Sister Glenna for breakfast, and I came across. I was going through to Hyde Park, and that church is closed, and they got all this graffiti on it, and the windows broken. And I'm going, wow. But that is not my image of Christ, meaning a church, a building. You know, so a lot of people go to buildings and want to worship at a certain building because this is how it looks. I feel good when I come there. It's comfortable. I like the colors. I like the this, the that. And that is not, we're worshiping a building and not what we're supposed to be doing in the building. So, yeah, so I wanted to, that was part of the question. And I'm going to start on page 76. Like I said, we are already over into chapter 5, unhurried enough to care. It was a question that they put in the book, and I had underlined this. This was the question and made me puzzled. So I'm going to say it. If hurry gets in the way of love, does hurry go or does love go? If hurry gets in the way of love, does hurry go or does love go? Say it again, sister.
I say hurry goes because love is powerful.
Hurry goes, but love is more powerful.
I would say both goes. Hurry suddenly becomes before love, and love goes to
When-
back seat, I would say.
When her,
So
yeah.
they both go just in opposite directions.
You all know how my musical mind goes. The song says you can't hurry love. So love is patient, love is kind, love is all those things in 1 Corinthians. But you can't hurry love. So hurry has to go.
Hurry.
Love remains.
Huh? What you all think? Huh? That's good, huh? Yeah. Yeah, when she says it like that. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so this is what, and we did that little exercise about the image of God's face. What does it look like? Love does not rush past hard places. Love enables us to listen when we are tempted to react. Love moves us to seek understanding when we feel misunderstood. Love is patient, and that's what Sister Cheryl said. Love is patient. So if we love someone, and we misunderstand them, we're going to take the time to say, the way did you really mean what? I'm having a dialogue. I want to have a dialogue with you. So that's where love is. I love you enough that I'm not just going to walk past that. I'm just going to say, well, she's always like that. He's always like that. And then I don't have to have anything to do with it. That's not love. Love says, I want to know why you said what you said. I don't want an argument, but I want an understanding. That's love. So love doesn't just hurry on by and say, love doesn't say, well, they always like that. They'll get over it. Love doesn't do that. Okay, so it goes on to say, when you imagine God having a human face, is he smiling? Well, we all said that it wasn't God, that it was Jesus. The majority of us said that. I make dolls. I was at a craft show yesterday, and I had one of my dolls, and the lady said, where's her face? I said, I don't make dolls with faces. I just want you to imagine what the doll is doing, what's her expression, you know. So, or do you picture him as sinister or angry? Even if I do something that I know that displeases God, I never think of him with a sinister face, or maybe never angry, but maybe he's displeased. I was a child who, my mother didn't whip me. I didn't get whippings. She didn't whip, I know, hey, she didn't whip us. Yeah. My mother never whipped us. And it was much later that my mother said that was something that was inbred into us in slavery, that the master that used a whip, used spankings, used, brutal force. But boy, my mama could put me on a guilt trip that there were many a times I wanted to say, just whip me, give me punishment, let me get over this. Because I knew that I had done something that had displeased her. And so I just wanted to get this hurt over because I hurt her and now I'm hurting. So I don't know, because like I said, I was never whipped, so I don't know the difference, but I know it hurt. It hurt me when I displeased my mother. And so I take on that same mode when I do something that I feel that is displeasing to God, that, oh my, all the stuff you've done for me, and if I have hurt you, I have hurt you. So that's me. But maybe that's because that's how I was brought up, that I didn't get a whipping. And my daughter didn't whip my grandchildren. Yeah, we just not a family of whipping. What's Sister Maddie say? Hey, Sister Bernice, what'd you say, Sister Maddie?
I would just say what you said, that I had 6 brothers, and my dad worked on the railroad for years. He come on Friday. So my mom, she just quit. Didn't make a difference what you did. That's what she did. But my dad, he would sit down and lecture us. My mother had a kind of patience. And when he said, do you believe I knocked your head off? All you got to say, yes, but we know he wasn't going to knock our head off. He said, go. And my mother, she wanted to take the wheels.
Yeah, there was a generation where parents would just put the fear of God in you and say stuff, and it was like, nah, man, DCFS would have us locked up, take the child away, something. My mother I wouldn't even think about calling DCFS on My mama did some sorts of, yeah. But man, there are things about, like you said, not my mother, but I've heard other kids' mothers say, I'll knock your head off. Huh? I'll knock your teeth down your throat. Huh? these young girls, you've never heard anybody talk to you like that, right? Huh? Wait, what did she say?
Well, I've seen kids saying crazy stuff. They be saying, I'ma send you back to when you was born.
That's right. You're absolutely right. That is one of those sayings. You are absolutely right. Yeah, so think of the things that we have said to one another and our parents have said, or some person in authority has said to us. I just think it's another way.
But the word is, if you spare the rod, you spoil the child.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. That's
Yes.
what we said. Well, I was saying the word is. I should say the word is, not saying that it's coming from the word.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so clarify it.
Okay, may I please?
Mm-hmm.
So the comment was, the word says, spare the rod, spoil the child. The word says, do not withhold the rod of discipline.
Mm-hmm.
You won't kill them, but you'll save their soul. That's
Mm-hmm.
what the word says.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And don't forget, the Bible was used to keep enslaved people under control. So much of the Bible was used during that time, and we still are saying some of those incorrect information that has been passed down from generation to generation to generation. That's the importance of being in Bible study, so that some of this stuff that has been held over our head, even here in the book. Remember the very first day class, I said, ask you, is Jesus is he hurried or is he restful? None of us saw Jesus until we started picking apart scripture, that we saw Jesus at rest. We thought that he was always going. Jesus was going. He was here, he was there. He was 10,000. He was feeding these people over here. But then when we stop and read the scripture, yeah, he fed them. And then what did he do? He went off by himself. He rested. He fed the next group. What did he do? Got on the boat. He was asleep when the storm came. So we have had this image that we should work from can't see to can't see. And even when you can't see, you can't be there idle, because the idle mind's the devil's playhouse, blah, blah, on and that was to keep us working. Because we were brute in the minds of our enslavers. We were brute animals. We were not humans. And so that's part of what this book is trying to get us to start thinking, that, yeah, I can sit and just be. And feel the presence of the Lord. When we are in chaos, when your mind is going and going, the last thing that you come and think about is the Lord. You're not thinking of, you're in the middle of some crisis, and you're so busy that you can't stop and say, you know what, I'm going to pray. Let me stop and pray. Let's just pause right here and pray and be still. We're trying to fix it. And so that has been ingrained in us, that we shouldn't be rested. This morning, before many of you came in, the music was so beautiful this morning. It was just serene, just to sit in the sanctuary quiet, not speaking, and listening to this music. We think we got to do something. We don't have to do anything, just Emmanuel, your presence. I feel your presence. Emmanuel, he is here. But we don't take the time to just come in to a quiet place, to the sanctuary, come in on a day when there's nobody here and you just having a day. Come in and just sit down. Don't have to turn on no lights, don't have to turn no music on. Just sit here until the Lord says, okay, go ahead. Whether it's 5 minutes, 50 minutes, just be. Now, you don't have to do that here. You can do that in your car. You could do that at home. Find some quiet place. Go to the bathroom, lock the door if there's a bunch of people in the house, and just be still. That's what this book is trying to get us to do, to get all of these myths that we have been indoctrinated with, to think that we got to go all the time until we drop. Yes, Sister Keys.
Okay, we passed this, but I'm going to go back to the discipline. I think it's generational in my family, because my grandfather's father, he used to whip everybody. He whipped his wives, he whipped his sisters, his brother, anybody around, he whipped them. Mm-hmm. And then my grandfather, he did the same thing. Mm-hmm. He didn't whoop the wife, but he whooped all the children. Mm-hmm. And then my mom, you know, she didn't spare the rod. She was kind of tough whipping us. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I can't count on both hands how many whippings I got. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think it's generational. So we had to break that. With my two oldest children, I whooped them, and then that was 11 years. Then my daughter came, and I learned that, you know, don't whoop the child. Right. I think I gave her about one whooping, and where they got so many, I couldn't even number them. Yeah, yeah. So I think it's generational. Yeah, yeah. And it's interesting that you talked about your great-grandfather, and he whipped everybody, including his wife. And so I grew up in the 60s and 70s that
men hit the wives, and you could call the police, and the police did nothing. Nothing. And so now, if a man, a spouse, because it could be a male or a female, it could be a wife hitting her husband or husband hitting her, you call the police now, and they taking him off, taking her, you know. So we have come, even in our society, where whipping somebody is, well, an adult, domestic violence is now, we're talking about, so we are trying today to break the chain of domestic violence. When I lived in Cameroon, what your great-grandfather, it was probably came with him. So a man that's not has no relations to you, if he sees what he perceives as a woman not behaving herself, he can hit her. Nobody's going to say anything. So this happens today, thinking that he has a right, but also they also whip other people's children too. And so that used to be something that we did. If somebody's child was out of line, you just spanked their legs along with your kids' legs. But we're not doing that anymore. Sister Maddie and Sister Virginia. Wait, Sister Maddie, Virginia's got the mic.
But I also think it's learned behavior, because now you see whippings differently.
Yeah.
Where if the parent doesn't agree what the teacher says or an adult says or how they treat their child, the parent goes to jump on the teacher or
Yes.
anybody who is in that space. So it has become more like violence
Yes.
versus whooping.
Yes.
And also, I think whipping is also, like it's been said, it's just learned behavior. My mama did it, my daddy did it, my grandparents. No.
Yeah.
But for me, I only did it a couple of times. I got into my kid's head.
Yeah.
And that's what my power was there in their head.
Yeah. And that's a terrible place to be, for your parent to be in your head. Yes, Sister Maddie.
What is domestic violence? Domestic violence.
What is domestic violence?
Yes.
Sister Emma, she's asking what is domestic violence. So Sister Emma was the peace officer. So can you give her the mic, Sister Maddie? Can you explain to her?
Well, you know, there are a lot of calls about domestic violence. If somebody is being violent toward another person in the house, it doesn't have to be could be the husband, could be the wife. You know, beating people up, just fighting people and they don't just call just because people are talking and yelling at each other. These people are really being domestically battered.
They're putting their hands on
Yeah,
it.
they're putting their hands on it. This young lady wants to say.
Okay.
Well, in my area, there's just it's only one similar violence, which is shootings. Because every single time I go to my grandma's house or every time I'm watching TV, all I see is shootings.
Yes.
Shootings every single day.
Yes.
Shooting. Or
Yeah.
car crash.
Yes. And this is what our youth, are experiencing. So our youth is experiencing this, whether they are directly involved or just a bystander. So we need more mental health workers for not just our youth, but our youth. See, we never think that, oh, they young. No, they're going through stuff that we, as children, even as young adults, have never gone through. Never, ever gone through. And so we need more people to be in the mental health field to help our children. Yes.
I want to add something to the domestic violence, because I have a friend now who has an order of protection against somebody. But I keep telling people order of protection is just something on paper. That does not keep that person from doing whatever it is they're trying to do to you.
Yep.
So you need to protect yourself.
Yep, yep, yep. Well, we got 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. 2. I set my alarm so that I can make sure that I'm courteous to the people that are
I had a
online.
friend and she was in domestic violence. Her used to beat on all the time. I couldn't understand why would she stay there. And she called the police. Police? What could the police do? You need to do that for yourself. You need to leave.
Well, that's a topic for a whole, that's a workshop. That is, and Covenant has a whole series of classes of teaching people about escaping domestic violence and trafficking. And I think, is it called Ava? It's AVA, and I can't remember what it stands for. But maybe that is something, if people are interested, we could look into to get some training on that, because we have people that are in situations and they don't know their rights and how they can get out of it. We have people that are trafficked. We have people that are trafficked that just right around us and we don't know. So it helps you look at the signs that somebody is being trafficked. If you ever go like on the toll roads and in some public bathrooms, you know, they got the little stickers to tell you if this is happening to you. So you'd say, well, why they staying with that person? Why can't they just, because that person has threatened them in some way, maybe not them, but their loved one. So they're afraid for someone else. So that would be a good topic for us maybe one day to talk about. Well, huh?
Someone threatened me, it makes me angry. And I would call them. Good.
But all of us, there are people in situations that can't get angry. That's what I'm saying.
Right over here at this motel over here on 95th, they are trafficking girls over there. I was in Family Dollar one morning, and 2 girls came in there, didn't have shoes or anything on, and they came in and was trying to steal shoes out of the Family Dollar and things out of Family Dollar. And, you know, they ran away, and so the police came, but after the worker in there said they knew what was going on, they would just let them, you know, have the shoes and stuff, but they are trafficking.
Yeah.
Right over here.
Yeah, it's right. It's right among us. It's not something that's over there, somewhere else. It's right among us. So, like I said, maybe that's a topic for something that maybe one of the ministries will take up at some point. Well, our time is up for today. Like I said, I want to be cognizant of our folks online. Now, Wednesday, Pastor Griffin's class Wednesday will be online as well as in person, and right after the class is going to be a potluck. Yeah. Can you all come to the potluck? Are you in school? You in school? Is winter break for you? Oh. Not this week coming up. Oh, okay. All right. Because we are inviting we're inviting a guest. Bring someone. So we're going to have soups and chili and all kind of goodies. And, you know, we got a lot of good cooks. Reverend Bond is cooking. Mr. O is cooking. So we got some men that are also cooking. So come at 9 and bring your favorite dish. And come and just enjoy the fellowship and bring a friend. Okay? Sister Bernice is back there, got a big smile on her face. Did I do okay, Sister Bernice? We talked about it this morning downstairs, so we got it covered. Okay, thank you. Okay, thanks everybody. As Pastor Griffin said, all these brave souls that came out.